Hello everyone and welcome to my next episode in From Grey to Greatness, a video series in which I am chronicling my efforts to build an AdMech army from grey to greatness. It's as simple as that. I started with absolutely nothing. I'm building it up, tracking how I get on with the goal to be taking this army to future tournaments and having success. Apologies for the lack of video recently. Life has been rather hectic. I haven't had much time to do that sort of thing. So today is going to be a reasonably short video in which I just give you an update on the things that I have been up to. So without further ado, let's crack on. So last time we spoke, we were sitting on about £390 spent and about 2,300 points. Well, I'm pleased to report that since then I have made no more AdMech purchases. So, round of applause, because, you should be proud. I may have bought some Sisters of Battle, but I mean, that's not related to this, so it's fine. I have had 2 more additions through gifts. So I've now got 10 priests and I've got a start collecting box. So that doesn't add on to the £390 because of course free Warhammer is the best Warhammer. But it has added some more points to my list because I've now got the 10 priests and then a Dune Rider, Tech Priest Engine Seat and some more Vanguard. So yeah, I think in terms of purchases, I've been quite a good boy. So in terms of what's been built, the start collecting box is finished now. So I have got an engine sear, I have got the Dune Rider, I've got some more Vanguard. I've now got 20 Vanguard built, so that's pretty tasty, and that will fill out a battalion nicely if I want it to. On top of that, the slave downstairs, aka my dad, has also been building up Call. So Call is done. Apparently he wasn't particularly fun to build, judging by all the shouting and swearing, so good to know. And then, as I said, 10 priests. So, yeah, nice little contingent to get painting with. Speaking of painting, I have tried to be quite busy. I know it's been sort of nearly a month now, so obviously I have got some stuff done. So let's start off with the Tech Priest Dominus. He is done and he has a name. I turned to the AdMech Facebook group for inspiration, and they were absolutely appalling. So I wasn't able to take any of their suggestions, but I did get a friend to help me using the random name generator from the Engine War book, and Tech Priest Dominus Kor Eng is his name. So yeah, Kor Eng. I quite like it actually. It's very Jedi-like. So yeah, he's a big boss boy. I'm really happy with how he turned out. He doesn't necessarily stand up to close examination, but I think the blues pop really nicely, so he'll be striking on the tabletop. I've also finished my Scorpius Disintegrator. I haven't painted the weapons on it yet, but as you can see, he looks pretty much done. Came out really nicely actually in the end. Managed to use pretty much the entire pot of Black Templar contrast paint, or that's how it felt. But I think he's come out quite nicely. I think from any sort of distance, the edges are really effective. Sure, if you go up close, it's not that great, but I'm at that stage now with my painting where I'm not that fussed about perfect edges. I don't want to be spending hours just taking my time with every single one. I'll try and be reasonably careful, but I won't go out of my way to fix anything. What will be, so to speak. So yeah, I think he's like quite a cool looking model, and I especially think as I get more of those, as I inevitably will, they'll form quite a nice little grouping together. I've also been working on robots, more robots. As you know, I had 1 painted. I've been working on just 3 more to give myself a nice unit of 4, and actually they are now done, and I think they've come out quite nicely. Much like the rest of the army, I've gone for this sort of approach of they're all united in their colour schemes, but there's slight differences. So as you can see, each one is slightly different. I have got one who kind of looks like he's wearing a waistcoat, so he's now, of course, my favourite model, and will always be the last removed from the battlefield. So yeah, I think they're reasonably okay to paint. Painting 3, all the edge highlighting and the kind of the scratches and the messing up of the edges and stuff took a while to do, but I think it's again, it's effective from that meter distance, which is the goal I'm going for. And actually with this army, a big thing is the basing. The base is sort of like really bringing it together with the rocks and the greys, with the popping of the alien tufts. So yeah, I'm really happy with how they've come out. I am currently now working on 10 priests. Turns out they actually take way longer to paint than anticipated, which is quite upsetting. I kind of whizzed through a chunk. I did all the blue on their tunics over the course of one evening, and I thought the next day I'd pretty much get them done. And after an hour, I'd painted 3 of them with bits of silver, and I was like, oh, this is not ideal. So I've kind of slowed down, and I'm just doing bits of different ones. So I've got like one model that's nearly finished, and others which are in various other states of finish. So therefore, in the next video, I'll be able to hopefully show off those 10 bad boys. So yeah, that's the painting done. Kind of once these priests are done, I'll probably move on to my Cerberus Raiders, because they look awesome. I've been looking forward to painting those, and I think they're going to be really effective once they're done with that, like black and the blue and the bronzy finishes. I think that's going to lend itself really well to the model types. So yeah, it's going all right in terms of hobby progress. Last time I spoke to you, I kind of finished off saying that the next episode would be me starting to dive into the codex, and that's not going to happen. That's not going to be happening for the near future, and this is why. For some reason in my head, I'm getting really fixated on the issue of when's the new codex coming out. I'm really worried about making any extensive purchases or really trying to learn this army before this new codex comes out and potentially changes a lot of things. I don't know why. It's never happened to me before. Maybe it's because I'm starting an army from scratch in quite a disruptive time. When I started Necrons a couple of years ago, the book had been out, I know, like half a year, and there was no concern there. I knew there wasn't going to be another codex. And this is the first time I've been building an army whilst also waiting for a codex. So yeah, I'm a bit stuck, to be honest. What I'm trying to do is just get the core stuff painted, build up some sort of those units, so that as and when the book does come out, hopefully I'm in a better position. This is based off the fact that I think it's going to be coming out in March, April time. It's just my hunch. We've got, at the time of recording, Dark Angels has just come out. They've just started unveiling Dark Eldar stuff, so that presumably is coming out in a couple of weeks' time. I mean, I could be completely wrong, who knows. But after that, it feels like the only stuff they've kind of spoiled is Sisters, and then that one-off AdMech cloak of bottom of a model. So when the box game comes out, presumably with the Dark Eldar, they might bring out the Sisters book, which is fine because I collect Sisters, so I then probably just transfer some of my attention over there and just carry on the hobbying of the AdMech and waiting and hoping it would be out maybe April time. But yeah, I mean, if it feels like when they announce the next wave after Dark Eldar and AdMech aren't in there, then I will sit down and I will probably start analysing it. But if it turns out, as I said, that book's coming out in April time or thereabouts, especially because we won't be playing any tournaments in the UK, barely be allowed to go and play against each other at the current rate of progress. So in the meantime, what I'm going to just do is focus on my hobbying, and then also start to incorporate what I've got into games against myself with my Imperium force. If you haven't seen it already, we've got a new video series called Me vs. I. It's in which we're playing against ourselves, basically. So I did the first game, and I took my Custodes force against my Necrons force. It's a really interesting game, and it's really fun to play, and I learned a lot, and it got you thinking a lot in terms of the different moves that you could make. I would highly recommend that sort of exercise. So what I can start doing is mixing up AdMech forces with Custodes, mixing up AdMech forces with Sisters. I can start doing those things as my forces grow, and the Necrons will just have to always be the baddies. But in terms of that, actually, that will help me just to get a feel for the army. I won't have to be deep diving. I won't be looking into all these killer combos, because that won't be the purpose. The purpose will just be going through the army and making sure I understand how it functions and kind of the ways to play them, the sort of maybe 1 or 2 strats and that sort of thing really. But yeah, I mean, there's no point, as I've said in previous videos, in buying another 20 priests, having 30 priests and 3 Dune Riders, and then priests losing their 3 up invulnerable and suddenly being a piece of garbage. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. So yeah, that's all from me today. As I said, a reasonably short one. Next episode, I have got a really exciting conversion for you. I'd hoped to put it into this video, but I've just not had time, to be honest. So the next one, the focus will be how to convert destroyers and breaches using ambots. If you buy a box of ambots and a box of Cataphron battle servitors, that will give you 5 pseudo ambot breaches / destroyers, kind of 3 and 2 split, however you like. So I'll be showing you how to do that. Hopefully, I've just actually started doing it and it taking a bit of time, because I really don't like building. Don't know if I've ever mentioned that. But yeah, hopefully you'll be able to learn a lot in that next episode about something that will look really cool, and then I'll be able to give you another painting and hobby update too. So from here at 6++, I hope you have a lovely day, lovely evening, whatever you're up to, and I shall see you soon. Take care.